I read in my Bible and I discovered that all the great men who walk with God and attain greater height are men of faith. No wonder the Hebrew chapter 11, and if you read down the 22 to 32, it gives a haunt. He said, time will fail me to talk about Barak, Gilead, and all the men they called their name. They were men who walk with God through faith. They walk with God through faith. They walk with God through faith. Not just men, mere men. They put their faith to work. They are not just inspired by because they see miracle in the church. They make up their mind. Even if God did not do anything, we'll still believe God. That is why they obtain that level they obtain. There is high time you have to stop this baby Christian. High time you stop being pampered around. High time you have to take your destiny into your hand and say, I'm standing for God. And nothing shall separate me from the love of God. You see, the children of Israel died in the wilderness without fulfilling destiny because they were unstable. And unstable people cannot become anything in life. In James chapter 1 and verse 7, he said, let not that man thinketh, that sister thinketh, he can receive anything from the Lord. The verse number 8, he said, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Unstable in all his ways. Unstable in all his ways. Greater things God will not do with us if we don't believe God. In Psalm 78 and verse 22, the Bible said, because they believe not in God, none trusted in his salvation. The reason why the word of God did not work for you, when the pastor declared somebody's going to get breakthrough and it did not come for you because you will never believe it. Paul was speaking to the church of Hebrew, and Hebrew chapter 4 verse 2, he said the same gospel was preached as well as was preached unto us. The same gospel, for unto us the gospel was preached as well as was preached unto them, but the gospel profited them not. The preaching and the pastor profited them not. They have a good prophet, they have a good apostle, but yet their life were not better because the gospel preached to them were not receiving with faith. We're not receiving it with faith. We're not receiving with faith. If people can by hand bay can connect their dead back to life. People by their hand bay connect their dead back to life. People by their hand bay in this ministry connect their dead back to life. Connect back aside the family that were once in the choir. Their sister connect their dead back to life by hand bay. Just a hand bay, bare hand bay. He said, cannot be possible. I just returned from Night of Dominion. We do all night of Dominion. And this is the sticker of my papa. I can't bury my daughter. And he placed the sticker on the child. And he pray. Weep over the child, pray. And he said to the husband, we are not taking the child to mortuary. And after 40 minutes of waiting and delay, the child sneezes and come back to life. Without nobody laying hands on the child. He put his faith to work. He put his faith to work. Jesus said unto you, how long can you be a child? How long can you be a child? When the believer, no matter how big he is in muscles or body, if you don't have faith in God, is immature. It's immature. That's why a lot of things get them offended in the church. Somebody's preaching, he talk to you, say, no, to insult me, pastor, call my name and insulted me. It's not mature. But Paul said, when I was a child, I think like a child, I behave like a child. But when I was age, I put all the childlike things away from me. What take Paul to be aged? It take knowledge. When he built up faith in God, he said, nothing can separate me from the love of God. Faith in God is what brought out great things in God. Listen to me. God will not bless any man that he knew that he had no future in him. Watch what God said to Abraham in Genesis chapter 19. Chapter 18 verse 19. He said, I know Abraham. He will command his children after me. I know him. I know him. I know Abraham. I know Abraham. I know him. He will command his children after me. And I will bless him. I know him. God have to know you through your faith before he can entrust things into you. God know you. That this guy, I know him. If this guy have money, this guy will advance my cause. God know. God have to be. He said, I know him. And God make vow of blessing Abraham. Even though God knew Abraham, he still tested Abraham to prove his faith. In Genesis chapter 22 verse 1, the Bible says God appeared to Abraham and said, where are you? He said, here I am. He said, take thy son whom thou lovest, Isaac, to the mountain Moriah. Sacrifice him for me. And Abraham did not discuss with his wife. Naturally, one person does not own a child. He took the child without discussing with his wife. Fully persuaded that God is able to bring the child. Because if the child, God can give me a child at the age of 100, God can bring the child. And he laid the child on the beam of altar, ready to slay Isaac. In Genesis chapter 22 verse 12. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, now I know that thou fearest me, since thou have not withheld thy only son from me. You see, stinginess is practiced in church when people have no faith in God. And that is why people who are poor, they are faithless. Nobody will walk in capacity of faith and be poor. Faith is the first currency for wealth. 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 Anybody, watch fathers of faith who are anchored on faith. Watch Kenneth Hagin, was it poor? Watch Kenneth Copeland. He's the richest pastor in the whole world. You see, you can't become prosperous by having a title of prophet. You read in your Bible that the Bible says a prophet was in debt, that the children was about to be taken for creditors. The gift of the Spirit, one of the first gifts that will enable wealth on you is faith, and faith in God. When you have faith in God, there is nothing God cannot do with you. If you read the scriptures in Genesis chapter 22 verse 16, God swear by himself. He said, in blessing, I will bless you. And in multiply, I will multiply you. God did not break Abraham's barrenness. He swear by himself to bless him. It did not end there. Abraham grew his faith with God, and he became a friend of God. According to James chapter 2 verse 23, the Bible says he was a friend of God, a man who can discuss things with God, a man who have a celestial relationship with God. A rich man have a dream and he saw Lazarus in heaven, lie in the bosom of Abraham. Lie in the bosom of Abraham. This is a man who walked with God, a man who believed God, a man who trusts God, a man who did not give up on God. We have choir members today, tomorrow native doctor Shania. We have usher today, tomorrow native doctor Shania. They are unstable. They can't trust God. They believe in material things more than God. They believe in their doctors more than God. Whatever God cannot do, doctor cannot repair. Listen to me. Whatever God cannot do, forget it. It is God. The Bible says that except the Lord builded. Psalm 127 and verse 1. The builder builded, in vain that builded. Except the Lord watched, the watchman watched, in vain that watched. For it is in vain thing to rise up early morning and sat home late and eat the bread of sorrow. So he giveth his beloved sleep. God actually bless people who have confidence in him. Have confidence in God. Who tell you your rent cannot be paid? Who tell you cannot marry? Who tell you can't have a child? Isaiah chapter 53 verse 1. He said, who has believed our report? To whom the arm of the Lord is revealed. What is the arm of the Lord? The manifestation power of God is revealed to them. It's revealed to them. The reason why you are being with God for 2 years, 3 years, and your life have not changed, because you have a ministry of Thomas. Thomas ministry is what you operate in here. That is why your life have not changed. If the gospel we teach, we preach, listen to me, it's not changing you, then check your faith. Because Thomas said in John chapter 20 verse 28, he said, until I see his hand and the nail, until not just to see, until my hand touch it is. John 20 verse 28, he said, unto my hand see the nail on his hand and touches it. And the John chapter 29, the verse 29, the Bible said, Jesus said unto him, Thomas, blessed are those who have not seen but yet believe. Blessed are those who have not yet seen but believe. In God we believe to see it. In God we believe to see it. Abraham was given a prophecy in Genesis chapter 2:15 and verse number 1 to 6. He believed God to have a child, and after 25 years it was not manifested. In Romans chapter 4 verse 20 tells us, he struggled not against the promise of God through unbelief. He was strong in faith, believing God. Strong in faith, believing God. It takes a stubborn faith to turn a stubborn husband back to kneel down and say, honey, I'm sorry. It takes a stubborn faith to change things. And your faith must be persistence. Your faith must be consistent. Consistency of your faith. If I be able to touch the hem of his garment, I shall be made whole. He did not get healed because the pastor was powerful in the church. He aligned himself to the grace that makes someone heal in the church. That's why a lot of our rangy pastors all over our town. Because you see, you can't trust God. So we have to trust God for you. By performing miracle, cripple, you cannot walk 73 years. We cannot do this thing. You cannot do this thing. When you see, then you are, yay, you are not clapping your hands and nothing. Because you see, Jesus says, the Pharisees seek for sign, and no sign shall be given unto them, except the sign of the Jonah. So you put pressure. Everybody want to make ministry, want to succeed and all that, because you refuse to grow your faith. Bring coconut, come to service, everywhere will be filled up. But come to church and grow your faith and walk in obedience to God. You cannot. Somebody here today is tithe of 2,000 naira. He will not obey God through faith to get the blessing. He will rather go to give to doctor until they book them for operation and all that thing before he will run to church. One of my sons was running up and down, moving around up and down. I look at him. I said, Lord, the doctor is also a tither. Spare not of him, but save the tithe, save the children. Let him pay the money to the doctor. You see, you cannot, nobody is stingy in life. Nobody is stingy in life. Your investment is a function of your faith. I heard that word. I said there's no stingy man in life. the investment of every man is what? The investment of his faith. Do you know how much people spend on native doctor? Now, do you know that your ignorances are more costly than your knowledge? Yes. There's nobody who comes to church and serve God and you are paying your tithe. Sometimes your tithe may not, nobody here among will pay tithe of 100,000. And sometimes when you approach a native doctor, before he will say you buy coconut for water, fata, and everything, you are spending almost about 250,000. And at the end of it, he end up bringing curses to your life for your family. Why are you supposed to open up to God, trust God, and seek God's manifestation through the obedience of it? There is nobody God has blessed and has ever come down. Psalm chapter 10, Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 22. It said, the blessings of God maketh the man rich and added no sorrow. And God cannot bless any man who have no faith in him. God cannot bless any man who have no faith in him. Who have no faith in him. Who have no faith in him. Having faith in God is not coming to church. Having faith in God is obeying God. Obeying God. They were told, these three Hebrew men, that they should not bow down to any other God. And that's what they were told. From their school days, they were told. From their parents, they were told, don't bow down. From churches, don't bow down. And they kept it as a mindset. They were captured into slavery. They were there, prophesied by Jeremiah. And they were there for 70 years. They rose up Nebuchadnezzar and said unto them, the image is set, everybody bow. Daniel chapter 3 verse 10. These three Hebrew men, their faith were contented to bow. And they said, we will not bow down. They addressed Nebuchadnezzar by his name. He said, listen to me, O Nebuchadnezzar, be known to you. Even our God whom we serve refuse to deliver us, we will not bow. Why are you under pressure? You bow. You lie because of money. You do things because of things. All the things you are doing because of lack of faith. You don't believe that God can take care of you. You don't believe that God can take care of you. You don't believe that God can provide for you. You don't believe that God can lift you. You don't believe that God. You can't help God. Listen to me. It's God that will help you. You cannot help God. It's God that will help you. And nobody has put his trust in God and has ever been disappointed. In Psalm chapter 5 and verse number 11. Psalm chapter 5 and verse 11. It says, rejoice those who have put their trust in God. Rejoice. Let them shout for joy. For the Lord defended them that loved him. The Lord defended them that love him. The Lord defended them. Let them all that put their trust in the Lord rejoice. Let them shout for joy. For the Lord defended them that only also love. The Lord defended them. If God can defend you, God can protect you. If God can defend you, God can provide for you. Have confidence in God and believe in God. Practice your faith. 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 How do you practice your faith? You practice your faith by confession. Begins with it. Talk what you believe. Talk what you believe. Did you hear that? Talk what you believe. Let your thinking affect your talking, and your talking affect your walking. Talk what you believe and go to the places you believe. Talk what you believe. Go to places to what you believe. A man of God was taught these things in church, and I remember that day believed God for car. He went to a car shop and he go meet the owner of the car, asking for 4Runner. That was a very great mistake the guy made. Looking for 4Runner, the man said 1.6. He was dragging with the car. A rich man came to the place and he wanted to buy a car for school run. So he also looking for 4Runner for almost about 4 months. And he said to him, I've been looking for this car. I've been scarce. I needed the one that have four cylinder, 4 engines. And the man said, oh, no, guy, you can't take this car from me. That's what I'm bargaining for. He told me 1.8, and I'm trying to price it. That's oppression. They said, no, don't worry. You can pick any other car. Add to my base. That's how he owns the car. And he have no one other. He just practiced what he believed. By taking a step of faith to go and price car, he became a car owner. Don't limit God in your life. Did you get that? Don't limit God in your life. Papa, you see me, I don't really like associate with people. I like to be my elder. No, Papa, I like to be alone. Me, I don't want to mingle with people. Loneliness is a disease. You will die alone. Nobody has ever been alone. Jesus, it was impossible for him to be alone. He selected 12 to follow him. Even the 12, betrayer is in it. You are not the first to betray. Open up for people to come into your life. The same people that bring you down will be the same people that will take you up. You need people at any time. Don't allow your experience to be a permanent state in your life.